James Hergott here with Radical Body Transformations. I am in Fargo, North Dakota, which is like the coldest place I've ever been on earth, and I'm from Canada. But we are outside of Courts Plus. I'm here to introduce you to some of the most badass competitors I've ever met. These guys eat, sleep, and train, and they're women and men. They're just absolute beasts. Now, I have an idea why they come from here and why there's so many just animals out of this place. And I think the reason is, it's so cold, all you gotta do is eat, sleep, and train because there is nothing else to do. So we came here to follow these competitors as they get ready for their next show, training with great trainers like Wade, like Brandon Fulkin, Amber Fulkin, and all these competitors are hardcore and they got big hearts and awesome people, and we want to get into their stories. So let's get out of this crazy weather and inside before my hands fall off so we can introduce you to some wicked people. All right, let's do this. Now we have Kelly, actually we have two Kellys on the show. I believe that you train one of them, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the Kelly that you train, her daughter says that she's gonna win. So no, she's been watching. Of course, you know, these things, you never know how the judges are gonna go. Both girls look fantastic. Carmen, who's also on the show, is in the mix in the Masters category.
Yes.
When you see two athletes that it's that close and they look that good, how do you feel about it? Are you just happy that, you know, both of them came in conditioned? Are you just trying to tweak things at the last minute? Tell me what goes through your mind and the kind of advice that you give.
You know, I mean, we do all the work leading up to this. You know, I mean, you can tweak some things, but if you're not ready coming into this, there's not a ton that you can do. It's not like you can bring a different person on stage. You know, we can add some more carbs and stuff like that, you know, add some more water, you know, things like that of that nature. But, you know, it's all that work that she's done for weeks on end, or months on end, I should say, leading up to this. I'm happy when they get in those situations because it brings out the best in them. You know, you don't want to get on stage and have nobody to compete against. And when it's close, you know, for me as a coach, man, I get nervous. As a competitor, I don't get nervous on stage anymore. I just walk out and walk off. You know, it's one of those things. But as a coach, I mean, it's like my kids are up there and I want to throw up, and I get excited for them. So I think tonight we're going to have some good results.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting, and the Kellys are going to be, you know, warming up really soon here. James Hergott here with Radical Body Transformations, and I am here with a special guest today. This is Kelly. She's from Nebraska. She's an attorney and a really interesting person with a lot of stuff on her plate and a really cool background. So I would like to introduce you to Kelly. Kelly, how's it going?
Hi James, how are you?
I appreciate it. Seeing you again. It's always nice. You're looking more buff than ever. You've been adding some muscle. And you're getting ready for a competition.
Yeah.
Tell me about the competition you're going to be entering.
The next competition that I'm doing is the Upper Midwest in Fargo, where we're at today, and scheduled March 28th, and I'm doing a figure competition there.
Very cool. So you came up here today from Nebraska, which we really appreciate. And so in your daily life, you're an attorney.
Yep.
You're a mother of two kids?
Two,
right?
yes.
9 and 11,
9 and 11, Olivia and Joshua, yep.
All right. And On top of that, you're competing at a high level. You're a pro in one organization, and you're going to be competing in another, and there's a whole thing with that. You're looking fantastic. What are some of the improvements that have happened to your physique since the last time you competed?
Since the last time I competed, I've been really working my legs and my glutes a lot. Towards my last show last year, I started to see more separation in my quads. My hamstrings and my glutes have always been just a hard area for me. I don't have a lot of hip flexibility, so it's hard to get my glutes activated when I'm doing deadlifts and that sort of thing. So I've been working a lot of bridges, a lot of glute raises to try to get some more flexibility so I can get that activation when I'm doing those sorts of exercises. Otherwise, I'm doing them and it's not doing much for my lower half. So I've been working legs tough. I've been dividing legs into quads and hams days, and then also doing just a lot of single leg exercises to make sure I'm getting that activation.
Now, you're an attorney and you're a mother on top of that.
Yeah.
I've heard excuses from people where they say, well, I have kids, so I can't get into shape, let alone competing. They just can't even get in shape. Or I have a career, it takes up too much time. You have a career, you have kids, you're in shape, but you went even beyond that and competed. So what would you say to those people that say, like, hey, I have kids or whatever the reason is, so therefore I can't be in shape?
Right. Well, you make time for whatever your priority is. If it's something that's important to you, you make time for it. And for me, my health is very important to me. If I'm not healthy and I'm not doing well for myself, I can't do good for my career, I can't do good for my children, I can't do good for my spouse. So I make the time, and that means that I get up every morning at 4:30, I get to the gym by 5, I spend from 5 to 7 there because that means I'm away at the gym when my family's not even awake, so they don't miss me when I'm gone. I get home by 7, get them up, ready, dressed, fed, and off to school, and then I start my work day. And I make it happen because that's what's important to me, and I think that my kids see my change in lifestyle and see that me making health a priority. They see that and they want to emulate that process. So that's important for me to have them learn that too, and also to have them know this is something that's important to me. And when they see me work so hard for something that's important to me, they take that and they put it into their lives, and they want to go be a doctor one day, or if they want to go play the guitar, they're going to work hard at something that they want because they've seen me do that.
Well, you obviously are an inspiration to your children, and the good thing about doing something like this is you can inspire other people. I mean, it's great. How do you balance all these things in your life? Having all these, having the career and family and working out. What's the secret?
I tell you what, it's one foot in front of the other every day, and it's just not thinking about, okay, what do I need to do tomorrow? What do I need to do the next day? It's doing the right thing that I need to get done for that day. Only being concerned about doing the next right thing and getting my day's work done and going to bed at night and feeling like I got everything taken care of that I need to. I don't get a lot of time to sit around and watch TV, but I do make it to all my kids' sporting events. We made Valentine's Day boxes this week. I do the things that are priorities, and some of those things that are priorities for other people may fall by the wayside for me. I don't have a messy house, but I have kids clutter around my house, and that's not a priority. To me, the priorities are making sure that they're well taken care of and they're happy, healthy kids. That's my number one priority. And like I said, I just keep moving, never stop.
So daytime television and tabloids aren't really a priority?
No. No.
Okay, that's good to know. I hate to take things in kind of a serious direction, but I think it could be helpful to other people. People may look at your life and say that this girl's got it perfect. She's got her career and she's got her family and she's buff and in shape and all this stuff. But you actually once suffered with alcoholism. And understand there were some things in your life that kind of were out of balance as a result of that. You used fitness to pull yourself out, and you said that you've been 2 years clean. So congratulations.
Thank you
for that.
Thank you.
So talk to me about that, because fitness is an incredible thing where if you have this energy, you put it into addiction, you can use that energy and put it into something really positive, like working out, that can be, in a sense, a positive addiction. So talk about that and and that journey and how it's changed your life for the better.
Well, it's true. Over 2 years ago, I struggled with alcoholism. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I haven't drank since December of 2012. And what was happening is I was having all these stressors in my life, but I didn't have any coping mechanisms on how to deal with stressors. I had started drinking when I was 14. I started using alcohol early to cope with stress. And not only stress, you used alcohol to celebrate, you used alcohol when you had a bad day. That's what I learned to do. And what I did, and I did it well for a lot of years, and then it went to hell for me. It didn't work for me anymore the way it used to, and I suffered some pretty bad consequences because of that. And so once I realized I was made to quit, I didn't have an option. And if I wouldn't have quit, I wouldn't be here today. And so I had to learn other ways to deal with the cope and the stress of my daily life, parenting, being a spouse, doing work, running a law firm, clients that are upset, those sorts of things. I had to learn to deal with those in a different way. And one of the ways that I dealt with that, and I wouldn't tell anybody to turn to fitness as a way solely to recover from alcoholism, because that alone didn't do it for me. I mean, I tried that, and I ended up going to work out for 2 hours a day and stopping at the gas station for beer on the way home every day. Fitness is not the key to recovery, but it certainly is a place that one of the tools that you can use in your bag to cope with the stresses in your life, so that you don't have to turn to alcohol. So I had all this this energy that I was using every day to figure out how to deal with stress, and it was just this vicious cycle of stress, drink, cause more stress, drink to deal with that stress, continue that, and it just was breaking that cycle. And then trying to figure out, what do I do with all this energy now that I'm not using it for the bad? I've got to put it somewhere. And that's what I did with fitness, and how I use fitness to help me recover. When I'm stressed out, I can go to the gym for 2 hours a day, and I'm not thinking about what's going on at work. I'm not thinking about what's going on at home. I'm thinking about lifting up something heavy and putting it back down, and that's it. So I use that to deal with the stressors, and it's really helped me in my recovery.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing this, because you could be reaching people out there who could see this, and you could touch them, and they may think, hey, I'm not happy where I'm at with my life, and here's an opportunity to take my life in a positive direction. On top of that, it's a personal belief of mine that as human beings, we used to be much more active. 100 years ago, we had to hunt for food or farm for food. So I don't think people were meant to necessarily be in cubicles or at desks. And I think that in some ways, people have turned to alcohol and drugs, and even prescription drugs and things like that, maybe to be antidepressants, when in many cases, if they were to be more active, they'd have that endorphin release.
Right.
So that could be a positive thing, and maybe people need just to be more active in their life. It could be really positive. So we appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you.
You got hooked up with your tainted gear.
I did. Thank you very much, Wade Gronwald.
And on top of that, we are going to hook you up with a badass purple Cyclone cup.
Thank you very much, Cyclone.
You guys are the first ones to receive this. We're really happy for it. And thank you for sharing your story. I know it's always hard to, open yourself up and expose yourself, but you can help so many people. So it's really a great thing that you're able and willing to do that. And who knows whose life you might touch as a result.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for this, and we look forward to seeing you kick some ass on the stage.
Yay, all right.
James Hergott with Radical Body Transformation, and I am in Fargo, North Dakota. I love doing this show because I get to meet all kinds of really interesting people, inspiring people, and giving people. In this case, Kelly is a really giving person and inspiring person. She not only is competing and getting ready for competition, she's also looks after her father, who was diagnosed with cancer, and she drives him to his appointments on a daily basis, as well as works a full-time job. So, just an incredible story. I'd like to give it up for Kelly. Kelly, thanks so much for being on the show.
Sure, thanks for having me.
This this is an incredible story. So, what got you into competing in the first place?
Well, it helps me keep in shape. I like to be competitive. It gives me a reason to get to the gym every day, to be socialized, and it's a great goal.
Okay. And so you're competing at which competition is this?
Upper Midwest in Fargo.
Okay, so you have that coming up. On top of that, your father is going to have a surgery, I believe, in April, is it? So, and not too far after your competition. Is it hard to do both things? Like, how do you manage looking after your father and also getting ready for a contest?
Well, I also work full-time and take care of my father, bringing him to his appointments every day, and trying to finish getting the gym into all of this routine. We just had to set his schedule early morning. Work has been very cooperative with me to get him to his appointments, and I hit the gym right after work in between all my meal prepping, taking care of a household, and making sure my father's doing well.
Well, you know, you hear about people complaining about that they can't get in shape because they've got a job or they've got this or that. I mean, you have so much on your plate. Obviously, you're just, dispelling this myth that people, don't have time to get in shape. What is it about you that you're so driven to do all these things and kind of take life by the horns instead of just sort of, let life happen to you?
I love going to the gym. I love working out. I like to be active, so that really helps me get to the gym. I want to be fit. I want to live a long, healthy lifestyle, and going to the gym does that for me. I love it. I love the social life, and I like to feel good.
Okay, now tell me a little bit about when you found out about your dad's cancer, and we talked a little bit off camera about this, but tell us about, what you first were presented with, and then kind of getting a second opinion in that.
My father was really sick since May, and it took us a lot of appointments to figure out what was wrong with him. And we just demanded that we wouldn't take him home until they figured out what was wrong with him. So we ended up finding out that he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon rectal cancer, and it was devastating. I was going to get ready to compete in October, and my life got put on hold, and it was getting my father to appointments to figure out how to get him better. And my life was just devoted to him for a good 8 weeks till we could figure out what's going on and to get him on his treatment plan. And once we got everything figured out, I said I need to get back to the gym, knowing that he was doing well, and had him move in with me so I could get him to his appointments and start to get him as healthy as we could so he could be ready for surgery and hopefully live a long life for us.
Well, it's incredible that you're doing this. You're a very generous person. Before we talk further, I want to introduce your coach, Wade. So we'll bring him in and talk a little bit about your prep. Wade,
Hi.
what an incredible person you have here, looking after her father, working a full-time job, and getting ready for a competition. It's insane. Now, what are some of the things that she's been wanting to work on in order to get ready for this competition?
The first thing that we started to really incorporate was upper body movements. We want to get some more width. She was a skater, so she's always had the bottom. We could get the width of the shoulders.
Very cool. Well, your shoulders already look like they're developing, so Wade's obviously got you on a good program. So we're really excited to see how things turn out and to see you compete. But we got to send you on your way with some stuff. So you've got Tainted Industries down, I think. You got some of their clothing. And we got you Cyclone Cup. Your choice, the color was red. I don't know if it's because it's Valentine's Day or what it is, but we hooked you up with red. And so there you go.
Thank you.
And another big thing that you really helped us out with is Viaggio Jewelry. Tell me a little bit about your friend and how you got her on board and all that.
Julianne is a great friend, Julianne from Viaggio. I met her when I was in high school. She went to a different school. We met through a mutual friend.
We kept in contact throughout the years, not real close. She had moved away, and we reconnected when she moved back and got some jewelry with her and helping her support her venture because of the bracelet she has.
All right, so Julianne had me do this to you. I know you got a bracelet, but she said, I asked Wade, I said, who from your team deserves a bracelet? You're the first name he said, okay? And then I talked to you, you already got a bracelet. So I talked to Julianne about it, and she's like, no, she needs to get a bracelet. So even though you've got one, you're getting another one. So you're also getting an advanced genetics bag. And I don't think it's any surprise what these look like, but we're hooking you up. Valentine's Day, there is another bracelet for you. And how good are your eyes?
Oh, you want me to try and read that? The journey of a woman is one of adventures and adversities, joys and sorrows, trials and triumphs. This bracelet that I wear represents my life, my story, mi viaggio, meaning my journey.
Next up is Carmen, who's one of the most unassuming competitors I've ever met. The crazy thing about Carmen is she has these amazing abs and an amazing body, but she's extremely shy. The first time I was supposed to meet Carmen, I was at the Mr. Olympia, and supposedly she was too nervous to even come up and introduce herself to me. Yes, the girl with a body like this is too intimidated and self-conscious to come up and even say hello. Well, if it's true that the stage is the shy person's revenge, then that explains a lot in her performance. James Hergott with Radical Body Transformations in Fargo, North Dakota, and we are here with Carmen. She just did some prejudging. It's competition day. I know you're a little bit brain dead right now because you're depleted and you're competing and all this stuff. How do you feel about how your body looks? This is the first time that you've done figure before you did bikini, correct? So,
correct. Yep.
How did you feel? I know when we interviewed you before, you were saying that you weren't sure about doing figure because you weren't as comfortable with figure as you were with bikini, but your body was a figure body.
Right.
So now that you've gone on stage and competed in this division, how'd you feel about it?
I felt really, honestly, relaxed up there. I don't know what it was, but I wasn't as tight and crampy as I thought I was going to be up there. So I was happy with that because that was my biggest worry, is because you just have to hit those poses and hold them for so long.
Yeah.
And I was fine. I felt relaxed and comfortable.
Did you do a lot of practice posing beforehand, leading up to the show?
Yeah, not a ton, but I did. Posing always comes really naturally for me, so I just don't do a ton of it. But I practiced, of course.
And I was shocked by this. You're competing in Masters. I didn't think you were that old. I thought you were like way younger. So
yes, 35.
Okay, so and then Kelly's in your class. Actually, both Kellys from the show are in your class. So that's interesting. We have lots of people from the show in that class.
It's a tough class.
It's a tough class. I mean, everybody there is training hard. How did you feel about your call-outs and stuff like that? Did you
Good. Us three were right beside each other, in the call-out, so right in the middle section. So who knows just how it's going to turn out, but everyone looks so good. So it just depends on what they're looking at for today. So
it's going to be interesting to see because it's almost like a photo finish, and like you said, it comes down to just or apples or oranges in terms of...
and they obviously have done this division way longer than I have. This is my first year, so they have some size on me and some different things there, so it just will come down to what they're looking for.
Very cool. Now, what did you do to prepare, meaning like right before the contest, did you do some carb loading or fat loading, or what did your coach have you do?
Peanut butter, rice cakes, every hour, more peanut butter, some treats.
How do you like how your physique is looking right now?
I love being this lean, I really do. The posing is always a little bit weird for me in figure, but I do like the look of the everyday look better. I like to be lean.
Is this like the best you've ever looked, you think? Or?
Yeah, for sure.
Very
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, it's a huge accomplishment. We look forward to watching you at the night show and cheering you on. We're gonna let you go eat something
Yeah.
right now because I know
Thank
you're
you.
starving.
Thank you.
All right, I appreciate
Yes,
your time.
thank you.
Awesome. All right, Kelly, so you came in second. You kept having to face against Kelly, and it was an unfortunate thing because you both look great. I know actually talking to Kelly beforehand, she didn't know which way it was going to go. She thought it was kind of a toss-up. So both of you looked great. So how did you feel after the prejudging going into the finals and the fact that, you're obviously somewhere in the mix with Kelly?
I felt great. I brought my best package I've ever had to stage this time, so I feel good about that. Kelly deserved all her wins. Congratulations to her. She looked amazing. She has a great upper body, something I'd like to work for. I need to build my back up. So I may be back in a couple years. We'll see.
Well, you should. I mean, she gives you a lot of credit. When we interviewed her prior to her wedding, she really didn't know which way it was going to go. So she said it was obvious that, in some of the spots it was between the two of you. And she was really impressed with your physique. So, obviously you're out there and, hey, it was a really tough class with, competitive people. And coming in second next to Kelly is no small feat.
I'm very happy with it. Like I said, it's my best package I brought to stage, and she was my incentive. She was my push. I knew I was going to have some tough competition. It's great, and we get along great. I mean, there's no hard feelings. It's she's a great teammate, and I wish her well. It was great.
Well, congratulations on your success, not only on your trophy, but your body looks wicked, especially at your age, to come in and look like that. I mean, there's people 18 years old that wish they could look like that, so it's incredible.
Thank you.
So thank you for being a part of this journey.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Back with Kelly. Now Kelly not only won the Masters 35 and over and the Masters 40 and over, she took the overall, and as part of that she gets a badass sword. So congratulations to her.
Thank you.
We followed your journey for so long. I mean, I first met you at the Olympia, and we came back here and filmed you, got your incredible story. Your daughter's here, and now you've won this. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I'm just in shock. I knew that the competition was tough, and I knew everybody worked hard to get here. So I'm in shock right now. This is amazing. It's wonderful, and I love that my daughter's here to see this. Like I said, she gets to see me get up every morning, and I don't get to go out to eat with them sometimes, and I have to give up other activities. So it's fun that she gets to be here and see what Mom's hard work's all about.
Well, she could see that Mom is Wonder Woman now with a badass sword and everything. I'm looking forward to interviewing her later and see what she must be like going crazy out there, right? I bet you can't wait to see her. And,
and she's a big help in my training too. I mean, if I'm even looking at food, she'll tell me. I'll tell your coach, Mom, do you want to lose? And so she's a good help to me. She keeps me on track too. She wants me to win.
Now, at any point that you went out there, were you able to spot her in the crowd?
Yes.
No, you did?
They text me and let me know where they're at before, so I can be looking for them when I'm out there. Whenever I'm on stage, I'm looking for her because she gives me a little bit of hope, and it gets me to relax when I see her face and just remember, hey, I'm here to have fun, and that's what it's all about.
Well, one good thing is you get to enjoy the rest of the evening no matter what else happens. You got this. This is amazing.
Yep. I still have 2 more to go, though. I have my class and then also an overall potentially if I win my class. So.
It's beautiful. I don't know what's going to happen if you get 2 swords or whatever they give you. So.
Sword fights.
Yeah, sword fights at home. Any last thoughts on the evening so far?
Oh, it's just been amazing. I'm just impressed. A lot of the team members have done really good. Jeff Davis came in with the first place in his class, and he'll be going for the overall later on tonight. Really impressed with Barris, who trains with Wade Gronwald, came in first in her class. I think Ashley's going to do really well in her class. I'm really excited to see how the bikini turns out. So yeah, I'm excited. I think tonight's just a wonderful night.
Well, I think the show's good luck so far, so that's a positive thing, and we're definitely going to be pulling for all those people.
Yes,
so.
definitely. And this is a neat show for me because this was my first show that I ever did last year. So to come back a year later and win the overall, it's pretty cool.
That's very cool, and the fact that we captured this whole journey, I mean, that's just even better.
It's awesome.
So.
Well, Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank you
again.
very much.
And thank you for letting us be part of your journey.
Thank you for being part of it.
Awesome. You want to hold up the sword?
Yeah. Not enough room in here, but kind of like a baseball bat. I'm not exactly sure how you hold a sword, but.
So, Carmen, back again. So, a crazy thing, Kelly won, I guess, the Masters overall, and then you won your class, okay, so in figure, and then you win the overall. Did you see that coming at all?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm so new to this division. I have no idea what was going on at the end there, but I just came in better at the night show. I just had some food, had some cheeseburgers, and had some fries, and just came in fuller. So. Well,
from what I understand, you had people telling you to do figure. They said you've got a figure body. Clearly, somebody was right.
Yeah.
Good call on that one.
My coach.
Yeah. So, what was going through your head as they said your name for the overall?
Super emotional.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. I never expected it. So. It was a tough journey getting here, and it was awesome.
It was a tough journey, but it paid off. I mean, your physique is amazing. I think it actually has improved as the day's gone on. And I mean, you kicked a lot of butt because you actually, you took your class, won that, which was hard. You had a lot of tough people you were up against. And then taking the overall, that was tough as well.
Yeah, very tough.
And
I knew something was different because I kept on getting second looks when I came out then. Like something was different about what they were looking at. So I came in fuller, but I don't understand that because I've never done this division. So it was just like a weird feeling, I kept on getting like, where'd she come from kind of thing. Well, I was up here in the morning, didn't you see me kind of, that's how I felt. So
well, sometimes it takes a while for the carbs to hit, and like you could see the veins in your shoulders, everything is popping out. So sometimes it's just a timing issue, and the timing is right for you, and you
cool.
you got this, and amazing experience. Anybody that you want to thank or give a shout out to?
My family, my friends, they're the best. My coach, my teammates, they're awesome.
And show this amazing sword that you got.
Yeah. Awesome.
So what are you hungry for tonight?
Everything. Pizza, cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers is my go-to, but I have about every single kind of Oreo, chocolate chip, any kind. Chocolate chip cookie dough, red velvet. I got them all. So we're gonna smash it on ice cream and just have a big old pizza party.
That's awesome. Do you know what's next for you? Do you have any? I mean, you clearly probably hadn't, weren't expecting to just win this level.
And
so
I think I'm going to take the rest of this year off and then come back in 2016 is kind of my plan. So.
Well, I mean, you certainly accomplished a lot. So I don't think there's much more you need to prove right now. So. Congratulations again, and to come in at your age and you're up against people of all different ages and to win this, it's an amazing accomplishment.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate you being part of the show and that we got to follow your journey.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that too.
Awesome.
Thanks
Congratulations.
again. Yes.
James Hergott with Radical Body Transformations. I'm about to introduce you to somebody who, when they were young, out arm wrestled everybody in the neighborhood, is an architect, and is not what you expect at all. I'd like to introduce you to Liz. Liz, how's it going?
Hi James, good.
Nice to meet you. So you used to arm wrestle the boys in the neighborhood, you beat them. You must have been a tomboy. Tell me about that.
Very much so. Basically, as I grew up with like 10 boys in the neighborhood, rough, good sports, got scrapes, scratches, whatever. I realized that I was very athletic and, they'd kind of beat up and wrestle and I just partaked and I realized that I actually had a decent amount of muscle for a girl and kind of put up with them and went up at the same bar. And so then, obviously, like I said, we started arm wrestling, and I actually won a few. And I think I shocked them more than it shocked me. And as I progressed, I realized that, that there's definitely something special about, muscle, being a female, and, being tough and rough.
Very cool. And what's even cooler about that is you've used your talents in this area and strength training or whatever to overcome some things.
Absolutely.
So tell me about what you found out, 4 years ago, and how you've used weight training and diet to kind of overcome that.
Absolutely. So, like I said, as I grew up, I knew I was tough and rough, but I kind of let that go. Going through school, college, and whatnot, I gained a lot of weight and kind of lost track of the fitness aspect of me. But I started realizing, even at a young age, that I had issues with my hips, a lot of pain, kind of lockage, and I knew that wasn't quite normal, but I never really addressed it until about 4 years ago when it really was pretty chronic and kind of started affecting my personal life. And so I kind of started seeing specialists, and I actually got diagnosed with bilateral hip dysplasia, which is genetic, and I always had it, but it started really inflaming. And like I said, I was gaining weight, losing the muscle, and my body was just kind of breaking down. And it means that my joint socket and my femur is at a wrong angle. And so there's a few members of my family that had hip replacement, and so I knew that I needed to change something. And concurrent with that was I was having chronic issues with my digestion as well. And so with those both in tandem, I changed my diet, as well as I kind of started following my partner in the weight room, getting back into that whole boys' playground, and started lifting weights and started seeing that progress, obviously, in my nutrition, feeling so much more energy and just feeling healthier. And then likewise with my body, I started building that muscle, and my hip dysplasia started being less of an issue, allowed me to build that muscle around my legs and really kind of, it'll never go away, obviously, because it's more of a bone structure, but building those muscles and obviously losing the weight, lessening the stress on it, allows me to overcome that more and more each day. So it's kind of a triumph that I continue to have to beat, but it's something that, obviously something I can do.
Well, that's an incredible story. I'm really impressed by this and, all the things that you've overcome. Tell me a little bit, like, you're an architect, which is incredible. How are you able to fit in the training and the working out and the diet and all that as part of this?
Absolutely. It's definitely a challenge. I work out at 5 a.m. I am up by 3:30 every morning. I food prep in the morning. I try to cook all my meals that Sunday, so it allows me to basically get everything kind of packed up, and I'm able to get on the road, get the gym in before my 7 a.m., start at work. I have long hours, so I obviously prepare, have my six-pack, and pack my food. I find myself eating in my car on my way to my construction site a lot of times, so eating cold food is nothing that's different from my everyday life. And it's just something, it's my coffee in my morning, it's my attitude, my confidence. Being a young woman in the architecture construction industry, it's sometimes hard to get, that taken seriously. And I find that the training and confidence that I've gained really helps me professionally as well. And just the rigor, time priority wise. So I am definitely beat by the end of the day for sure, but it's kind of that routine and structure, and it keeps me balanced, so.
All right, well, we're gonna bring in Wade, your trainer, and we're gonna talk to him a little bit about the things you have to overcome and how he works with you to overcome these things, all right? Hey, Wade. All right, so we got another candidate here who, all these people are, really fantastic go-getters. You have just an amazing team. And Liz has overcome a lot of challenges. One of the challenges that she has to overcome is she's got hip dysplasia, and the way that she explained it to me off camera was that there's certain restrictions for a regular competitor, and then she's like a whole other level of restrictions. So tell me a little bit about some of her restrictions and how that plays into getting ready for contest.
Well, the key was really to engage the hamstring to glute interaction, where she's kind of has that gymnastic type build. very nice shapes, but I think her bottom is maybe a little bit overpowering. So we tried to bring the hamstrings into the glute tie-in better. So with that, a lot more volume, backing off on weight and just concentrating on those areas where we're pushing blood rather than moving a bunch of weight.
Okay, and how about, what about diet? What are some of the diet things modifications you have to make for her versus, your regular?
Yeah, and as we all know, there's always, you kind of have your go-to where you start, and then you have to make that for that individual. While Liz is a completely different being, so we had to really tailor it to her, with the different fats and different carb choices. A complex carb isn't just a complex carb. Some people, it doesn't sit well with them. So you have to fine tune it again to what gets her the results.
And, I understand you're getting ready for the Fargo show, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and you were doing figure. What are you doing this time?
Well, I did figure to begin with,
Okay.
and I did physique, and I'm continuing physique still. So jumping on stage, just trying to sculpt that body, gain some muscle mass, and bring a better physique this year.
Amazing. Well, I love your attitude, towards life. Your thing is there's a barrier. I'm just going to go through it and get it. So I'm going to hook you up with some tainted gear. Poof, you've got it. and I'll ship you some supplements and stuff from Canada.
Awesome.
And on top of that, we got cyclone cups in today, but this is the only one they sent me that's yellow. This is their new color, so you get the mellow yellow first one. And, so enjoy that.
Awesome, thank
We
you.
appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you
and,
so much.
we look forward to tracking your progress and, seeing you on your big day and how all that work is going to pay off. So it just goes to show, no matter what, disability or setback or obstacle you have, there's a way around it.
Absolutely.
So, all right, let's kill it. And once again, thank you for coming on the show. And Wade, once again, thank you for having another amazing person with great energy.
Absolutely, thanks for the opportunity.
All right, cool. Let's do this.
This week's product of the week is F10, the world's fastest acting fat burner. Go beyond shredded with F10 Fat Incinerator. F10 was designed to burn fat fast. F10 combines the most cutting-edge fat loss ingredients into one powerful formula, strong enough for professional physique athletes. F10 is military grade. Field tested, science proven. Hoorah!
Hoorah! James Hergott with Radical Body Transformations here in Fargo, and I'm going to introduce you to a Fargo resident who is an unbelievable story. The guy is 50 years old. He first competed in '89 and then last competed in '98. So he's really done the whole thing with bodybuilding, but don't call it a comeback. This guy is going to go back on stage. He's crazy, but we love him. Here's Mark. Hey Mark, how's it going?
Hey James,
man? Good. So, all right, so you started competing in '89, which seems like a lifetime ago. Holy crap.
Long before the internet.
Yeah, and the game has really changed since then, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
I mean,
back then there weren't coaches, there weren't online helping out opportunities. The resources weren't available to you. If you were lucky, you found someone that did the show before and could help you out.
yeah, it's an amazing thing to me because like the kids coming up today, they got shredded glutes and stuff at regionals, and it's just like, they have access to any information. They've got, like you said, coaches and all this stuff, and I can only imagine back in the day that you competed, you got maybe a guy at the gym that can give you some information, but wow.
Exactly. It was all very secretive, and luckily you would find somebody that could share the information with you, or was willing to. And it just seems there's more information out there now. On the drawback of that, everybody wants it so much faster now. They're not willing to put in the work.
Yeah. So you went through all this and you made it to a national stage. You last competed in '98, was it?
98.
Okay. All right, tell me about that last experience.
Last experience, 98 Nationals in Atlanta. My first time doing a show where there was the weigh-in Thursday, prejudging Friday, finals on Saturday. I made my weight, and the stress got to me. I didn't fill out. I looked terrible at the prejudging, and at the finals when I got on stage, still looked like crap. The next day, well, my brief showing on stage that day, I should say, but the next day after that, everyone's like, man, why didn't you do the show? And I go, I did. I just really messed up. So I've kind of had that chip on my shoulder ever since.
Well, you know, from what I understand, there was a motorcycle accident?
Yeah, in spring of '99, I was getting ready for the USA's, and I put my motorcycle in the ditch, tore my labrum, and about that same time, I met I didn't know it then, but she was gonna be my wife, and I decided I like cheese, curds, and beer, so I stopped training for about 10 years.
Wow, so, you know, you stopped training for 10 years, and then what got you back into it?
My health, high blood pressure, cholesterol. Quite frankly, I looked like crap. Just figured it was about time for me to do something for me. I had been going through a lot of stressful stuff at work and had to try to find what it was that was me again. What had been missing for all those years was being in the gym and having that outlet and that sense of self-improvement that I got when I was in there every day.
Well, you're an incredible warrior, because now you started working out again, and you're going to compete again. So this is your first time back, and you told me you like your look even better than when you competed back in the day, which is incredible. So how does it feel to get ready for another contest?
Honestly, it's very rewarding. And what I've found different this time is I'm really enjoying the journey. Kind of knowing, like, think when Derek Jeter took his final lap around the Major League Baseball and got to stop and smell the roses at all the ballparks. I'm kind of enjoying every meal prep, every workout in the gym, knowing that I'm giving it my all for this last shot, and there'll be nothing left in the tank when I hit that stage.
Now, you would think competing back in the day, that would be enough. Not only did you compete and then stop compete and then do this comeback, but on top of that, you're doing the open class and you're 50 years old. You don't want to, it's not enough to compete with guys your own age. You want to go against everybody.
Well, masters are for old people. And I know my wife always, I hear it a lot, when are you going to grow up?
Yeah.
My father used to tell me that when I was a kid. He goes, man, you got to stop playing the games. You got to get, life's about work. And no, it's not. If life is about work, then you're going to get old faster. So you try to enjoy what you do and find that inner passion. And that's what I have in the gym. Keeps me young.
Well, that's wicked, and I think it's great that you're going to challenge yourself and put yourself out there. Tell me a little bit about this Batman tattoo, because we talked a little bit off camera about that, and that's just a fantastic story.
Well, I've got a Batman tattoo on my shoulder, and when I was a young kid, 5-6 years old, again, that was a long time ago. We only had 3 channels on the TV, and one of my favorite programs was Batman, right? And my mother took my sister and I to a store, and there was a rubber Batman. It was like $1, and I wanted that stupid little doll. It's like, I want the Batman. And she said no, and I go, well, of course I threw a fit like a 5-year-old would. And the more I fussed about it, the more she dug her heels in. It's like, no, you're not getting it. You don't get everything you want. I go, and that really struck home. And then it was, from that point on, I'd be asked, like, what do you want for Christmas? It's like, well, I need a new baseball glove. It all became about needs versus wants. And my mom died when she was 55 of cancer. And it was one of the last trips we took together. I shared that with her. She goes, well, I want to buy you something. And she goes, what do you want? And I go, I don't want anything. And she goes, you don't want anything? And I go, no. You taught me, wait, do you remember the rubber Batman story? She goes, I didn't tell her about it. And she goes, that's when I learned that you don't get everything you want. If you want something, you have to work for it. So it becomes, needs are more important than wants. It's good to want things, but you got to work for them. So that day we were at the Mall of America, and she bought me like a Batman ring or something, just to kind of make up for it. But she felt so bad she felt she took away my wants. But in reality, she strengthened me to really go after the things I want, and especially the things that I need.
And essentially created a beast, because here you are 50 years old, and you're back at it. You want to compete. Well, I would like to bring in your trainer, Wade, and talk to him, because your whole dynamic is really interesting. So let's bring in Wade and talk to him.
All right.
Hey Wade, welcome back.
Thank you.
another one of your great athletes. Incredible story, just really inspired by this guy. Now, one of the things with this whole dynamic is I understand that it's kind of like the master now becomes the student sort of switch around thing. So from what I understand, he actually was training you or helped you with some of your initial contests?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, tell me about that.
Yeah, initially, you know, I had played college football, raced snowmobile professionally, so always been, you know, in the weight room, and then met Mark here a number of years back and said you should try this bodybuilding thing, and I'm like, yeah, right. So that's where it started, and, you know, had respect for him, obviously, by looking at him, and we gave it a shot.
All right, so first of all, kudos to you to work with this guy because it's hard. I mean, my trainer, by the way, I'm 38, my trainer is like 23, and I learned from him. So, you know, you can never know too much, you know, it's one of those things. And so you're learning from this guy now. So tell me what it is about Wade that you have to do. I mean, he obviously has lots of experience, so what's the challenge you have to overcome with this guy?
You know, there was a lot of things. The first thing that entered my mind was, is he going to accept my protocol? Is he going to follow? Is he going to give in to his way, or is it going to be my way or his? So that was, for me, that was an attractive thing because I think that I can get him to a completely different level at his age. So to me, that was very attractive. When we started, he wanted to go heavy and, you know, kind of be in that way. And I had to try to pull back. We need to keep you healthy. We don't want any injuries. If we get to 8 weeks out, you just spent the last 8 prepping for nothing. You know, so we had to pull back and do some different things there where, you know, honestly, he's been more than open to it all, and I think he's responding extremely well, as we will see.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. I mean, even at my age, I'm not 50, but I'm getting close to 40. And I've noticed that I can't train like I used to, and you got to start training smarter. So that's great. But you know, you got that intensity, you got that hunger you always have. And it's almost like you need somebody to just kind of rein you in and say, "Don't kill yourself on this one. Let's do this right." So you guys are a great match, and you're going to be doing the Fargo show coming up. I think you already look great, but I can't wait to see how you look on stage. And you know, I know that you also are an NPC judge. You know, you did some announcing or emceeing for them, is that right? So you've done the whole gamut. So I think it's a real treat to have you come back to the stage and all that. And it's big for Fargo, it's big for bodybuilding, and it's big for Wade, you know, because now he gets to experiment on you and see what he could unleash. So it's wicked. So I appreciate you being on the show, and you already got your tainted stuff, so I can't give you any more tainted gear, but I'm going to ship you some stuff from Canada. On top of that, we got Cyclone Cup, one of the first recipients of that, which is a wicked thing. Help you mix up your shakes or whatever, your branched chain aminos. Appreciate you you joining the show, and we're going to get some tape on you training and show the kids how it's done. All right, let's do it. All right, we're here with Liz. Liz, you're in Physique. How do you feel today? How's your body looking? You know,
I've definitely come in my leanest, which is awesome. I've put on some mass. I took about 2 years off to kind of work on my digestive issues and then my hip issues, and I've really enabled kind of, you know, working with my coach on getting my conditioning with the limitations of my hips. So I'm really excited because I'm bringing in a new package, and I think I've made huge progress. And obviously the shows go a little bit more than just the placing. I walk away with learning more about myself, establishing new friendships, and strengthening the old ones. And doing it with my boyfriend is a huge accomplishment and success. And then obviously we have Gopher in 3 weeks too, so it's only, you know, more things to work on and improve. So I'm really proud of myself.
Awesome. So you're just like moments away from stage. So tell me about your mental process right now and kind of what you do last minute just to get ready before you walk out there.
Well, besides normal oiling, pumping, and everything, I do a routine, and I think that's like my favorite part of doing women's physique is because you get to show your personality, your attitude. I'm actually doing it into Britney Spears' Toxic, which I think is really fun, and I got my suit and everything's it's just fun, and I'm able to really just put some sass into it and just show my personality and thrill the audience. Obviously, the judges are greats, but it's still a show, and it's still a presentation of yourself, and that's what I feel I do in my routine.
Right, and it's coming in your best, as you know, and like you said, with women's physique, you get to do the artistic expression stuff too. So I'm gonna let you go and do your thing.
Thanks.
So, all right, we'll film your stuff.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. All right, I'm here with Liz. She won Physique overall, well, her class, which was the overall. How do you feel about the whole experience?
It's kind of in denial, to be honest with you. I went up there with, the best physique I have yet, and I put everything into it and felt great about it. I feel very fortunate to, just be able to bring my physique to a whole nother level, and did actually get awarded for that and acknowledged. I'm honored, and I really appreciate it. So.
Well, one of the things is you had the hip issues and all of that. And talking to you earlier today, some of the people that won, they kind of knew that they were going to do well, and they expressed that. You didn't really say anything about that you thought you were going to win. What? Did you not think you were going to win, or were you just, what was your attitude?
Not necessarily. I obviously acknowledged that I brought my best physique, and I knew I'd be probably in the top 3. But I also take a really modest attitude when I do competing. But in general, I'm obviously very proud of myself.
Well, what was going through your head when you realized that you were winning?
To be honest with you, I was just a little stunned because I've never placed higher than 3rd. And so my obviously goal is to just better my physique and better my placing, and I did that. So it was just more or less just a self, being satisfied, and only makes me want more and get more hungry. So.
Well, fantastic. Do you have any other final thoughts?
I just, improve my physique and keep moving forward. And like I said, I love doing the routine, and I did that myself, and I'll just keep moving in the progress of, entertaining and enjoying this sport.
Well, much just like you facing the obstacles in your life and overcoming them, you went out on stage and they started playing your music, and the music got cut, and you kept doing your routine, but you were able to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So you didn't let it get you down or stop you, right? What were you thinking when that happened?
The first thing I said was, "Oh crap, it must have been my CD." I told, obviously you blame technology or it's yourself, and so I kind of looked over, thought, okay, what do I do? And they kind of gave me that, just keep going. So yeah. I did, and soon found out that I actually could start over, which was probably a good thing because I time it out, and I'm really interactive with my music, so I really needed my music, but I could have done it, but I'm glad I was able to do it all synchronized.
Well, obviously you worked on it because you were able to do it without your music, so you've got all the timing and everything down. So congratulations on your success, and enjoy the after party or food or whatever you're going to do. All right. Thank you. Backstage here with Mark. Now, Mark actually placed 3rd, but talking to you, it doesn't seem like that. You seem disappointed. Tell me, first of all, why you're disappointed, and then second of all, what you felt went wrong.
Well, I'm disappointed in the fact that I reached my greatest conditioning of my life, which is great, but when it came to filling out, I left something on the table. I haven't filled out yet. I ended up weighing in at 184.5, and I should be about closer to 200. And next time I'm doing the gopher in 3 weeks, my intent is to start doing my loading earlier in the week, Tuesday, so I have time to fill up and I'm sure I'll be able to maintain my condition. I mean, it was nice being the hardest guy in the show today, but just a little bit disappointed. I was hoping for more. As a competitor, you always do. But I see I do have the room for improvement, and I know what I did wrong.
Well, I've actually had the same issue happen. I mean, first of all, you look amazing. I mean, I think you look great. And, every year this bodybuilding gets harder. And, you took a big, what was it, over 10 years off since your last competition?
My last show was in 1998, 16 and a half years ago.
So that's insane. To come back and look like this, that in itself is an accomplishment. I face the same thing, and I think sometimes it's just a matter of figuring out your own body. A lot of times what I would do is I would try to make weight in a class, like a lower class, almost like an MMA thing, which it didn't really translate. And then what would happen is I would weigh in and then try to carb up, and it wasn't enough time, so I'd be really flat in the morning, and then I'd go eat a pizza or something, and then I'd actually look good at the night show, and I'd be like, damn, I missed it. So I feel your pain on that, but the good thing is now that you've tested yourself and you're a little bit, since you're older, I mean, your chemistry might even be different. Now for the next show, when you need to start, what you need to do, and that's the hard part of this is that you could be training for months and months and months, and then the last 24 hours or last week or whatever, just miss something and be significantly off. How do you feel about the gap of the 10 years, or 13 years, whatever,
16
years?
Competitions, and it's been about that long, consistent training. I started back in November of 2010, getting back in the gym, and my body's changed a lot. Just the muscle maturity, it bounced back really surprisingly well, which I was happy about. I was really surprised how fast my metabolism was at 50 years old. I ended up coming in way too hot, like a plane that misses the runway. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
And we were trying to slow it down. But you may have seen the guy that just walked through here, Aaron Canner, 2013 Junior Nationals light heavyweight champ. I heard he was doing a show 3 weeks ago, and it was, I gotta be diced for this, which spurred that on.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a matter of trying to make a weight class. I was trying to slay the dragon.
Sometimes your desire to win can almost work against you because you start second guessing yourself, or you start really pushing, and sometimes you need to kind of, like you said, landing has to be kind of a soft landing, and you just want to nail it, and
that's like how people blow engines on cars.
Yeah.
They rev them up too much, and
yeah,
they got it finely tuned. They try to get a little more out of it, and goes up.
Well, you definitely have this mentality, a very strong, wanting to win mentality, which is what it takes to win. So you are a champion. You're going to come back. You're going to succeed. So I'm excited to see the future for you. And guess what? Coming back in 3 weeks or whenever you're going to compete again, it is a lot easier than getting in this shape in the first place.
So looking forward to it.
Awesome. Any final words or anything else you'd like to say about today or the experience?
It's been great. I've really enjoyed the journey, this time more so in the past. And I just want to encourage younger people to continue to do this.
One thing I wanted to ask you, how does it feel after the 16 years to come out on stage again?
It was a rush.
Yeah?
It was a rush.
Was it like you remembered, or was it different this time?
It was better than I remembered.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now he's got the bug. He's going to be coming back again.
I'm doing one more and I'm done. My wife pretty much. Well, see how many pairs of shoes it cost me to do another one. Shoes and purses, right?
And here comes the big boys themselves. Go on through, guys. No problem. Photo bomb. All right, well, we appreciate your time. Thank you for doing this. And, how old are you again?
I turned 50 in February.
50 in February, and he looks like this. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you, James. It's been a pleasure.
Speaking about Carmen, it's interesting because Kelly, beat her earlier, and Kelly's probably shocked, or maybe was, wondering how is it that Carmen won. But Carmen, in my interview with her, actually said that she could look at the judges at night. She said they were looking at her different. And she started to feel like she may be able to win just based on the way she was being moved around and based on how the judges were looking at her. And then, looking at her, I started to realize that her body had, visibly changed or whatever. So talk about the case of Carmen, filling out a bit and things like that.
A few things happen with that. I think the majority of my athletes do improve throughout the show day. They get better by the night show. Kelly improved too. She didn't improve as much as Carmen, but she still improved. She came in harder. I think a few things came into play for Carmen. Carmen came in more relaxed than she was this morning. She was pretty wound up this morning. She was stressed. And her posing, I think indicated that. She wasn't as free-flowing. On her back poses and stuff, she was a little more closed off, not as wide as she could have been. And, for her, she thought she knew where her placement was tonight. So it was no stress. I know where I'm going to be. Well, little did she know that she was going to win the overall. So that stress was alleviated. So she went out there and really left it out there, for one. Two, we paid attention to her during the day. She, I believe, had a burger and fries for lunch, and she drank a lot of water, and she rested, throughout the day. And then we started loading her again midday with some more carbs and some fats. And then as we got close to the show, we put some more carbs in there, some more fat and some sugar. And then, quite honestly, man, about an hour before she went back on stage, she came to me and she's like, what do you want me to do? And I could visibly see she was pretty pumped up. And I said, have some Reese's cups. And she's like, are you serious? She's like, how many? I'm like, well, how many do you want? She's like, how many do I want? And I'm like, within reason, I said, have a couple Reese's cups, She's like, okay. And, I think sometimes as competitors, when you're given something like that, is a Reese's cup gonna mess up your whole freaking prep? No, it's not. That close to being on a stage, that depleted and everything else, that Reese's cup's not gonna hurt anything. But sometimes it's also a mental boost. You're having something that you craved or you've wanted or whatever, and it satisfies you, and it makes you feel good, It also makes you feel good that your coach has confidence enough in you to say, hey, let's have some candy, But that brought out vascularity in her, and she went out there fuller, harder, more vascular, more confidence. She felt better, and she won. So it's a lot of factors, but it all came together. So
that's incredible. And she got emotional in our interview. Who knows? But she said that she thinks that she's done for the year, and she had no idea how she was going to place like anybody else does.
Yep.
Rarely have I met such a talented group of people who are also this down to earth. The place may be cold, but the hearts are warm. And with that, we are done our time in Fargo. Stay tuned as we follow more inspirational men and women on Radical Body Transformations.
Presenting Game